stories I'm going to tell you are 100% legit.
The Auburn man convicted of murdering a 4-year-old girl by placing her in an oven 30 years ago wants to appeal his conviction. WMTW News 8's Jim Keithley joins us now to explain why John Lane is seeking to appeal after all these years. Jim?
Tracy, John Lane was the mother's boyfriend. He claims that he was so mentally ill that he wasn't allowed to file in a timely appeal after his conviction back in 1985. Now, a federal magistrate ruled last week that Lane was able to show his illness impacted his ability to appeal, and it is one of those cases that has affected so many people, and for so many reasons, the wounds are still raw after all these years. October 1984, John Lane told police that he thought his girlfriend's daughter, 4-year-old Angela Palmer, was the devil when he put the child in a hot oven. The girl's mother, Cynthia Palmer, told police that Lane had drugged her and she was in a comatose state as she watched from another room. Lane is 66 years old now and serving his sentence at the Maine Correctional Center in Windham, and is now asking for a new trial, claiming his lawyers were ineffective and did not allow him to file an appeal after he was convicted. Federal court documents indicate that Lane has been treated for mental illness multiple times while in prison.
Well, from my perspective, he got excellent representation, and he got a very fair trial.
Elliot Epstein was a young lawyer at the time and attended the entire trial, and then wrote a book about it titled Lucifer's Child, detailing the events of one of Maine's most notorious murders.
Almost every first responder within a year or two went out on some kind of disability or resigned. In fact, one of the policemen was so disturbed that he attempted suicide. So there's no question that witnessing this kind of thing has a profound effect upon the psyche of the people who were involved.
Lane and Palmer were tried together in Bangor. He was sentenced to life. She was acquitted. John Huntington lives at 317 Main Street in Auburn, in the apartment above where the murder took place. He, like so many others, have strong opinions about Lane's fate.
I definitely don't want to see him get out. I mean, what he did was pretty horrific, and I don't think he deserves to get out. I mean, he deserves to stay in there for the rest of his life for what he did.
Many people who were there that day still can't talk about it today and just didn't want to be interviewed for our story, and we contacted many people. Meanwhile, the Attorney General's office has 14 days to respond to this judge's decision. And one other detail, there was a second child in the home that day, an older sister who witnessed the crime. She would be in her 30s now. Live in the studio, Jim Keithley, WMTW News 8.
Like a little kid's that was like a little kid's This is here. Hi. Hi, Angela. Yeah. You have toys. You can play with the Minnie Mouse.
Stop her.
Stop drawing. Minnie Mouse.
Stop her.
Stop drawing. Minnie Mouse.
Stop her.
Stop drawing. Play with that. She can't play. Why not?
Right, Calvin.
Can you talk through that, Angel?
Help.
Help us? I like you. It's like said we like you, John.
I heard you. There you are, I heard. There you are, I heard you. There you are, I heard you.
Oh, that was like a little kid's
What do you want for Christmas, honey? A brand new bike. Did you hear that? No. She said a brand new bike. I swear to God.
The story's about to tell you 100% legit. Around 2012, 2013, my roommate and I, Flynn Robinson, we moved into an apartment on 317 Main Street in Auburn. I worked at the YMCA in Auburn with Flynn at night. I had kind of been in the paranormal, like things happened to me throughout my life. But, so I moved into this place, and just one day I'm playing with my flip phone, recording stuff, and I get a voice that says, "Hey John, you wanna talk?" So I'm like, wow, where does this voice come from? I sent it to my cousin Serena Tar, and she's like, yeah, it's definitely saying, "Hey John, you wanna talk?" She's like, that wasn't you, right? And I said, no, that was not me. So I started getting EVPs just on my phone, saying my name, stuff like that. So, so I started doing EVPs, and I was getting crazy stuff. Almost every time we recorded, I became pretty addicted to using the recorder. I'd go to work, YMCA, I'd do recordings. I would do recordings at home, and these EVPs were just blowing me away. I couldn't believe the stuff I was getting. I remember I entered one into a contest and won EVP of the year. It wasn't just Angela Palmer there. It was multiple spirits constantly at this location. So I went online. I started looking at ghost stuff because I was getting these EVPs. I talked to Haunt Me, showed him my EVPs, the first group that ever listened to my EVPs. Of course, they probably thought I was crazy because, I didn't have video to go along with it, just had all these recordings. I go online and I see a few people doing this spirit box thing with radios. So I'm like, yeah, I'm like, it's gotta be BS. I mean, it's a radio, it's scanning through stations, it's just the stations, you're just hearing what you want to hear. I thought that at first. So I went out and I remember I bought this cheap Walkman at Walmart. I was totally broke at the time. I think I was clearing like $80 a week in order just to get by, not even, yeah. But, so I put these videos out on YouTube. I saw other people put videos. I wanted to put stuff on YouTube because I saw other people put stuff out, and I was getting these crazy responses, like clearer than anything I saw online. So I'm like, there's something to this. So I had my voice recorder, and I put out a few videos here and there. Now looking back at it, I'm like, they're kind of crappy videos. But it was when I was first starting out, and not many people were doing what I was doing. I remember talking to one guy that was really good at spirit box, Shannon Mortis the Wizard from Australia, and he was talking to me how I get the same results as he did. We would get similar things, and he was a good friend. I don't know what happened to him. I haven't seen him in years. But anyways, my videos were out, and I get an email, I think it was email. Yeah, it was an email from a paranormal group in Rumford, Maine. So I'm like, awesome, you know, they wanted me to come up and investigate, and this lady named Brenda Castellano, she wanted to, she's psychic, had her own ghost hunting team. She wanted me to come up, said there's a guy up here with similar kind of abilities as me. He was good at spirit box, and he was a good investigator, he was a Marine, and to be honest, I was a little scared. I mean, I knew, I like Marines, I know there's a few of them, so I was like, oh, you know, I'll go out, check it out, see what happens. So this is the first night I met Corey Heinzens in Graves Paranormal. So I get up there, I meet Brenda, have some pizza at the pizza shop across the street. Come over, Corey's a little late because he shows up with all this different equipment. You know, I'm just starting out. I had a camera, $20 camera, and a $30 voice recorder. That's all I had. And this little camera would pick up EVPs. That was craziness. So we're filming through the night. You know, we're not no professional videographers or anything. We're walking around with a $20 camera. So the first thing we do is go to the gym. So I don't know what made me say this, but I'm like, hey, if there's any spirits here, can you scream out loud? And it did right away. Everybody's freaking out, like, oh my God, it's screaming right loud. Screaming right away, screaming out loud. So then it, I ask it again a few minutes later, it screams out loud again. And everybody was blown away. And Corey and I together, the spirit box was insane. I don't think we have video of it. Back then we just cared about evidence. It was kind of more of a personal experience, but we do have the screams on video, which I was blown away. And every other weekend I would drive up there, just about every weekend. Completely broke. I had to figure out a way to get money for gas to go up and investigate the GRCC in Rumford. But sometimes we would just talk. We wouldn't investigate all night. We would just talk. But Brenda had no idea I lived at this place, at the Lucifer's Child building. So I think I brought it up one night, and she's like, no way, you live there? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, that's crazy, because Angela's sister Sarah, who also was there and experienced it, she was her therapist. She was Sarah's therapist, and she knew her. She said she lived in Rumford. And I'm like, wow, that's pretty wild, because my roommate at the time, his brother, who died a while back, but his brother was a security guard at the prison that this man that killed Angela Palmer was at for life. So there was all these weird connections, and it all intertwined, and everything just, it's really weird. It's weird how we all just came together. Cora and I became friends. We traveled, we investigated places. We didn't care. I mean, now everybody's about, oh, I gotta film perfect. Back then we didn't care about how we filmed. It was more about what we captured and experiences, and it was an amazing time. So anyways, back to this apartment. Now, this apartment was, I lived above the apartment where this happened, and I had Angela come through a lot. I recorded a bunch of it. I asked her what she wanted for Christmas. She said a brand new bike. I brought home a mouse for her. She's like, nice. She was really young, I think she was 4, so, and I can remember doing the spirit box, and you'd hear other spirits telling her not to talk to me and things like that. It was crazy. It was some of the best spirit box stuff I ever gotten was at this place. It's a sad story what happened to her, but I just wanted to show I wanted to show everybody some of the sessions from this house, and I just wanted to explain to the story of this house and how I met Corey and how this all worked together. It was a weird story. It's not coincidence how we met. There was a reason for it. And so eventually we had Sarah come over, Angela's sister, and we had a session, and basically Angela said, "I love you, sissy," which I believe she didn't want to share, so we didn't put that out there. But it's a crazy story, and I thought I would share this story with you, share how I met Corey Heinzen and Jennifer Heinzen. That's how it started, and that's the beginning of the story, and I'll have another one for you next week. Thank you.
Say hello. Hello, thank you. If you are dead, can you say the word dead? Dead. Thank you. Is it dark where you are? If it's dark, say the word dark. Dark here. Keeps hitting at the same frequency. Answering my questions around 9:20 a.m. If the devil's where you are, can you say the word the devil? Devil, I heard you. Now, let's hit 3 times on 9:20 and asking random questions in the same station. Bam. Okay, we got some more to ask. What is your name? 4/9/20 said Ethan. Hello. Burden. Say burden. Do you know Mortis the Wizard? If you do, can you say Mortis the Wizard? Nope, I can't see you. My name's John Huntington. Can you say John Huntington? Huntington. Thank you. You need help? Spirits need help. Think 40? Hello, thank you. If you are dead, can you say the word dead? Dead. Thank you. Is it dark where you are? If it's dark, say the word dark. Dark here.
What is